तशेंच CWC मेंबर आनी काँग्रेसचे लिडर डॉक्टर शशी थरूर, तशेंच गोयचे प्रभारी श्री माणिकराव ठाकरेजी, गोयचे प्रदेशाध्यक्ष अमित पाटकर आनी काँग्रेसचे आमचे जनरल सेक्रेटरी प्रदेश काँग्रेस कमिटीचे आनी आमचे उत्तर गोव्यातले एक बरे लिडर विजय भिके आनी हांव मागणी करता आमचे प्रदेशाध्यक्ष अमित पाटकर हांचे कडेन की त्यांनी डॉक्टर शशी थरुराक फुलाचो पुष्पगुच्छ दिवन तांचो वेलकम करता.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
आयची प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स आम्ही दवरल्या कांय स्पेसिफीक मुद्द्याचेर, कित्याक डॉक्टर शशी थरूर जे गोंयांत आयल्या ते आपले विचार तुमच्या फुडल्यान मांडटले आनी आमचे बाकीचे जे लिडर आसा, आमचे प्रदेशाध्यक्ष, आमचे प्रभारी माणिकराव ठाकरेजी, ते बी तुमकां थोड्या विशयांचेर उलयतले. हांव म्हाका डॉक्टर शशी थरूरा कडेन तुमकां उलोवचें म्हणटा.
Friends, very good to see you. I'm glad to be back in Goa, and I've been campaigning yesterday and this morning for our candidate in South Goa and for the larger issues here. I'll be also going to North Goa and then leaving the state tomorrow afternoon. I'm very, very pleased to be here because I genuinely believe that Goa believes in and the people of Goa cherish the values of the Indian Constitution and of Indian democracy, which we have been very proud to have built up since 1947. In these 76 and a half years, India has gone through very, very important challenges. We have made a lot of progress in some areas, and sadly, we are seeing setbacks in others. One of the major dangers we see today is to our democracy. We have seen in the last few years, under BJP rule, an attitude of one party wishing to dominate everything in this country. There has been the hollowing out of the autonomous institutions provided for in the Constitution. There has been a weaponization of investigative agencies selectively targeting opposition politicians. There has been inducements as well as pressures upon opposition politicians to join the BJP, and of course the famous BJP washing machine has been in operation, so that those who have charges against them, those charges suddenly disappear if they were to join the BJP or its allies. And these kinds of things have been accompanied by an atmosphere of fear and intimidation when it comes to the media and to the expression of personal and private public opinion. So for us, restoring our democracy is of great importance, and safeguarding democracy is one of the principal concerns of the Congress Party in this election. A second major concern is preserving our diversity. Goa has a very special culture, and Goans have always enjoyed the fact that they have a distinctive place in the national mosaic. Goa and Goans have every right to be who they are and to live as they wish. Goa has historically had a great deal of respect for its environment, its forests, its rivers, its wildlife, and at the same time, it has been a very hospitable place for tourists. Today, much of this is under threat. We are seeing the proposals for these 3 linear projects, the doubling of the rail track in particular, expansion of the highway, the power transmission line, all of which are not welcomed by the people of Goa, but which are being imposed because of the business interests of a few favored by the ruling party. We are deeply concerned to note that all of this is also affecting the interests of the state and of the people. We have many other issues we would like to address, but very specifically, we want to ask the BJP, we know the Home Minister is coming here later today, what their stand is on some of the issues that we have seen here in Goa. How exactly do they manage to speak in terms of upholding law and order? They're in power in the state and in the centre, when they have not been able to resolve some very serious charges, some serious cases, including the still unsolved murder of Siddhi Nayak. We have to ask the government, when they are trying to run this country in this one nation, one election, one religion, one God, one leader, one party kind of approach, how do they understand the diversity of our country and the freedom of people to worship as they wish, to live as they wish, to eat as they wish, and to be free citizens of India or equal in the eyes of the Constitution. All of these are questions to which I think the government needs to provide answers. And here in Goa, you have every right to demand these answers from those who are coming here to seek your votes. We have two good candidates we have given you. Very experienced former Union Minister in North Goa, a man who has served the Navy in South Goa, people who have record of integrity and principle, and who at the same time are deeply rooted in the soil of Goa. And we believe that Goans have good choices before them from the Congress Party, and we're here to encourage people to vote for the hand, vote for the Congress Party. I'm very, very happy to take your questions, but one last word before I do that. I hope that you are paying attention not just to our criticism of the BJP, which is fully justified criticism, but to our positive agenda for the country. In particular, the Congress Manifesto. I'm proud to have been a member of the Manifesto Committee. We have a very forward-looking and broad vision for the future of India. And that includes some very specific guarantees. We keep hearing about Modi ki guarantee, but the only guarantee Mr. Modi has given is that he will break all his guarantees. Where are the 2 crore jobs a year that he promised when he came to power? Where is the doubling of farmers' income? Where is the 15 lakh of rupees in everybody's bank account from bringing black money back from Switzerland and other havens? None of this has happened. Mr. Amit Shah, who's coming here, famously gave us the word Jumla into the political vocabulary of India. These are all Jumlas, he said. Well, we don't give you Jumlas, we give you assurances. And our assurance is 5 Nyayas to uphold the justice for our people. Mahila Nyay, Yuva Nyay, Shramik Nyay, Hissedari Nyay. And all of these are simple, well thought out, detailed proposals which we have studied and formulated to ensure a certain amount of security for our youth, for our workers, for our women, and of course for every stakeholder amongst the Aam Aadmi in this country. So we stand by the people of Goa, we stand by the people of India, and we ask you once again to vote for our forward-looking agenda and to vote against the destructive policies of the BJP. I'll stop there, very happy to take your questions. And
one of the promises the Congress has been making is to fulfill the demand for dual citizenship for Goans. So what is the party's stance on this and the period in the BJP?
This is a position on which some of us have expressed personal views. It is not in the Congress Manifesto nationally, but we will certainly take it up very seriously. Certainly our candidates here are very keen that if they're elected and they come to Delhi, this is an issue they will take up, which they're entitled to do. As I mentioned yesterday at Verna in the public rally, I myself have taken up this issue in the past, and I have not found much support from either the present government of the BJP or the previous government for dual citizenship yet. But I do believe that we need to have a more expansive understanding. A lot of Indians living abroad may have had to take a foreign passport for reasons of professional convenience, travel, work, and so on. But their hearts are still here. They still feel an emotional connection to their motherland. And we need to find concrete ways of recognizing that. That was implicit in the creation of the overseas citizenship of India. But the overseas citizenship of India was actually a misnomer. It is not a citizenship, it is only a lifetime visa. And as we've seen with the BJP government, even that visa can be revoked by the government. So we definitely need to revisit this policy and try and make it something more durable. For myself personally, not the party stand, the party does not have a stand yet nationally, but personally I believe that this is something we need to do. We do need to encourage and permit our citizens to keep their Indian passports even when circumstances require them to take another passport abroad. But we have to find a legal formula to do that. And as far as I'm concerned, I will be a voice, as will some of your candidates here. I will be a voice for this when it comes to Delhi, but I cannot make a promise that my party will do because the party has not yet taken a stand.
Doctor, what I would like to ask just on this, would you be willing to start a dialogue on this issue? Because there are other states like Pondicherry is already there, but there are various other states, and if I'm sure you know about the numbers. the people with money are leaving. They are buying places all over the world. So obviously, for some reason, whatever reason they be, that
I have
is a discussion. Will you be willing to start a general dialogue in the country
I will have
on
to
this?
restart the dialogue because I already
Restart.
started it. First in 2005 at the then Pravasi Bharatiya Samman in Bombay, I was the first one to raise this issue. And I called for this. Subsequently, I came back. That was as an NRI myself. And I came back to India, became an MP, became a minister, and I raised it within the government. There was a discussion. That conversation led to the decision to allow NRIs to come back and vote, but not to vote from abroad. And that's remained stuck. When I was chairman of the External Affairs Committee, I again asked the question of voting rights for Indians abroad, starting with Indian passport holders. But even there, the present government of the BJP has been reluctant. Subsequently, this dual citizenship issue has come up from Goa, and as you said rightly, some people in Pondicherry also. And my own view on this is that we should definitely try and make it possible to have a serious dialogue. Bring us to power and we'll have a forum that can do it. And I think we certainly will have an opportunity to study this in depth. The fact that people really have been raising this issue repeatedly shows that they have very deep feelings about this. And I don't see why India cannot be accommodated. Many democracies allow dual citizenship, and some countries that are not truly democracies also allow it. So I don't see why we should be somehow sticking in the mud on this.
Mr. Tharoor, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
BJP always says that Congress doesn't have a party. Congress, and even for that matter, your India Alliance doesn't have a prime minister candidate. What is your take on this?
No, the fact is that we are operating in a parliamentary system, not a presidential system. In a presidential system, the question is very relevant, who versus who. In the parliamentary system, it is what versus what party, what ideology, what principles. That's what we're contesting on. I have often said that in our country, our big problem these days constitutionally is that we have a parliamentary system being run presidentially by Mr. Modi. That is the worst of both worlds. In a true presidential system, the legislature is autonomous and independent of the executive. In a parliamentary system, the executive emerges from the legislature, so they are two the same. Now, Mr. Modi has taken advantage of that, but he's running the country as if he's the president. We don't believe that's actually healthy for the country. We believe in the notion that a prime minister, as in the classic definition of the parliamentary system, is a first among equals. Number two, we have a coalition, and that coalition is going to be the one making the decision. It would be wrong for any one of us from any one party. Obviously, as a congressman, I would name a couple of Congress names. But what is important for you to understand is that there will be a number of parties that will come together. We will have the numbers to stop the BJP government and to offer an alternative government. And at that time, I'm sure that the leaders amongst themselves will be able to find a suitable name. Did you expect Mr. Deva Gowda to be Prime Minister in '96? Did you expect Dr. Manmohan Singh to be Prime Minister in 2004? Once the results are out, somebody will emerge and that person will manage the team. And our slogan will be, if you remember one of our slogans in the 2014 election campaign, which turned out to be very prescient, I want to use it again, is "Main nahi hum." We're hearing "main" all the time from somebody in Delhi. We are talking about a lot of collective experienced leaders working together to serve the country.
Since today's World Press Freedom Day, I want to ask, what will Congress do for the welfare of media?
Well, frankly, we believe the media desperately needs its freedom back. It is a matter of grave concern that in the World Press Freedom Index, under Mr. Modi, our ranking has been going down every year. And we believe that is wrong. When the Western media says that India is a dangerous place to be a journalist, I feel sad because I want all of you to have the freedom to do your job professionally and at the same time, not to fear. You have to look over your shoulder at what you write, what you hear, what you quote, being somehow snooped upon by the government or even worse, confiscated by the government.
Sir,
there are a number of cases of journalists that have been put in jail and held often without charge for some time. We will not want that to happen. I am certainly in favor of strengthening the protections that the media enjoys, just as media has certain rights in war zones. In a country like India, in democracy, there must be some constitutional rights provided to ensure that media is able to function freely. We've also said that we will roll back all the anti-people laws, and that includes laws that infringe upon the freedom of expression.
Sir, what's your observation about the minorities of Goa and especially the church factor, which is very strong in Goa? So, do you have any observation? What do you feel about
we believe that every Indian is equal. We believe every Indian has an equal right under the Constitution. The Constitution is very clear. When 1947 happened, and one set of people said they're starting a country for their religion, and they went off and created Pakistan. The others, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Ambedkar, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, all the leaders of Maulana Azad, they all said, we have created a freedom struggle for everybody, and we will create a country, a free country for everybody. And when they debated the Constitution, this whole issue was discussed. Because Pakistan is a Muslim country, Islamic State should be a Hindu Rashtra, a Hindu country. And it was discussed and overwhelmingly defeated by a big majority. They said, no, we are a country for everyone, whatever their faith, religion, caste, language, state, makes no difference. If you're an Indian citizen, you all have equal rights. And to my mind, that is extremely important. And to ensure that, as Dr. Ambedkar said, we don't have the tyranny of the majority. We have put in certain constitutional protections, like a minorities commission. We always used to ensure, when Congress was in power, that people of different parts of the country were represented in government and in parliament, when the minorities, as you would call them, people of different religious backgrounds, were in parliament, were in the cabinet. The whole idea was no one should feel that in any way their opportunities are limited because of their religious background or any other community background.
Finally,
today, unfortunately, that is not the approach of the BJP government. As you know, this is the first government in the history of independent India that has had no Muslim MP, no Muslim member of either house, and no Muslim minister. We think this is wrong. We think that in a country where 200 million Muslims live, they also should be reflected in the political offices of our country. As far as Christians are concerned, I come from a state and indeed from a constituency where Christians are very prominent and influential. In Goa, the Catholic community here is a substantial community with a long history and a proud history. And these are communities that have served the nation very ably. In my speech yesterday, I mentioned how if you go to Diu, like Goa was also a Portuguese colony, and you can look at the memorial to INS Kukri, the only ship that went down in 1971. You read the names of all those who gave their lives on the ship, all the soldiers, all the sailors. You will find every community, every religion, every part of the country represented. Everybody in this country has sacrificed for the nation. Everybody in this country has shed their blood. Every religion has shed their blood to keep India free. And to my mind, nobody in any ruling party has the right to say that the majority, or what they consider to be their majority, has rights that the minority does not have. That is not true. We stand for an India where everyone has the same rights as a citizen of this country.
Finally, BJP is making a continuously statement that next 30-40 years in the state and the center, BJP will rule continue.
Yeah, I heard that when I landed at Damodaram yesterday, and I replied, I believe that your chief minister said that. I said, I think he should change his astrologer. Forget 30, 40 years. I think that in this election already, the BJP is in for some very, very big surprises. We've already had very good feedback from the first two phases. Not only in the south, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, overwhelming result against the BJP. But what we are hearing from those states, even in the Hindi-speaking states, from those districts that voted, Rajasthan, UP, MP, many districts have voted, the feedback is, number one, absolutely no enthusiasm for the BJP, a lot of indifference and even apathy on the part of regular BJP voters. Many of them have not gone to vote. Percentage of poll has dropped in those areas, and a lot of receptivity to the idea that the time for change is here.
Finally, Rahul filed the nominations from the Raebareli. Prime Minister comments on the Rahul nominations, Daro mat, Bhago mat, because 2019 Smriti Irani defeat Rahul from the Amethi. Also, CPI opposed Wayanad. Rahul, what you say?
Yeah, I think Wayanad Rahulji has won very comfortably. Of course, we have to wait till the 4th of June to confirm that. So he doesn't have to worry about Wayanad, he has won that. As far as Raebareli is concerned, as you know, I mean, there are some emotional family loyalties involved. The family, the Nehru Gandhi family, has had that seat since the 1950s. Amethi, by comparison, it was only after Sanjay Gandhi's time that it became one of their seats. And therefore, I think there must have been an emotional reason that if you're going to take one of these two seats, let it be the one that the family has cherished for so long. I don't know, I've not spoken to him about it, but I can tell you that that seems to me one of the considerations. This seat goes back to his grandfather's time. And therefore, I think it's important for us to respect and value that he's continuing the tradition. His mother has represented that seat for a long time. And therefore, for him to step into her shoes, as it were, in the Raebareli is not surprising at all. And I would urge you to look at it in a positive light. At the end of the day, I have no doubt that he's going to win there also.
Doctor, what you have to say regarding your alliance partner, Kejriwal? His absence is going to make any difference?
Look, I think the BJP has displayed its weakness and desperation by locking the leader of a national opposition party in jail at midnight. Let's face it, they say there is an ongoing investigation. But that investigation could have waited 2 months to the 4th of June. I mean, the fact is, it's been going on for years now. They've been talking about this in the newspapers for at least 2 years. Why do you do it in the middle of an ongoing election? I believe the question has been asked by the Supreme Court also. And that is the real question. If you are so afraid that you want to put one of your opponents away, he might campaign in 2 states and do you damage, then that means you are really, really very much in fear. And I urge the BJP, Daro mat, as Rahul Gandhi likes to say, Daro mat. Give everyone a chance to campaign and see whether your message is what the people want to hear. And that's something that we must bear in mind, that as far as Mr. Kejriwal is concerned, he is not our ally in Punjab, he is our ally in Delhi, he is our ally in Gujarat. We have arrangements that respect the different views of different parties. But we are not here to speak for Mr. Kejriwal, we are here to speak for Indian democracy. Is it democratic to freeze the accounts of your major opposition party? BJP did that to us. Is it democratic to lock up an opposition party leader who is also Chief Minister of a state? BJP did that to Mr. Kejriwal. Is it democratic to raid selectively the helicopters of your opponents, whether Rahul Gandhi or MK Stalin or whatever, you go and raid their helicopters to see if they're carrying any money? But have you ever raided any BJP candidate's helicopter so far? Or car? Or plane? Let me be very honest, this is not the way democracies are supposed to function. And the way the BJP has been functioning, the people can see how one-sided it is.
Yesterday you made a statement, actually one of the Congress person made a statement saying that they will take some action on people who keep on jumping ship. Goa has got a very strong Congress base, probably more than lots of parts of the country. But one issue is it that people get elected and they jump.
Yeah.
So from the national perspective, is anything going to be done to ensure that some glue is there for people, or are you going to take workers?
So we have already said in our manifesto that we want to tighten the 10th schedule of the Constitution. There are some ideas, and in fact other people's ideas are also welcome. I understand yesterday Mr. Radharao Gracious in my event said he has got a whole new alternative law to strengthen anti-defection. I said, give me a copy, I'll take it back to Delhi, no problem. I really want us to try all the best ideas so this nonsense doesn't happen again. I mean, we have seen the most shocking spectacle of people swearing in churches and temples and mosques and then breaking their promise. And what I don't understand is how the voter of Goa can have any respect for people who have so little respect for themselves and for their relationship with God. I mean, it really is shocking, isn't it? That you would actually swear and then break your promise as if it didn't mean anything to you. So my own view on this matter is, if people have the courage of their convictions, then they have every reason to resign. But they should have no reason to take the benefit of election on one set of ideologies and practices and votes, and then go off and support the opposite side. That is truly surprising. The anti-defection law, one of the flaws is not so much the way the law was written, which I know can be improved, but also the implementation. Under BJP rule, for the first time, we've seen speakers sitting indefinitely on disqualification requirements, right? That's not a very healthy thing either, is it? There must be some agreed rules and procedures for how the law will be applied. Right now, we've seen in Maharashtra, for example, how long did it take the speaker to even rule on the disqualification petition submitted the day the defections occurred. So we have to really ask ourselves objectively, is the law right and is the law being implemented fairly? And I think we can tighten both of those.
PM Modi and Amit Shah is campaigning for BJP candidate in Goa, no? So, but Congress has not arranged any big party this
Thank you, that's a nice compliment to me, thank you. They've sent me here as soon as I got free of my own election.
But last few days back, President has said that Rahul Gandhi is campaign for Goa candidate.
I don't know, I'm sorry. Akre Saab, aapko pata
No,
hai?
but they are, the BJP is all guns blazing here. Either they are worried about the 2 seats.
BJP is scared by it, that's why everybody is coming.
Or they are, or you are confident about winning. What is it? What do you, how do you perceive?
Both. Let me tell you that BJP frankly has every reason to worry both about these 2 seats in Goa and about the overall picture nationwide. I mean, to begin with, there is no doubt that they're going to do even worse in the south. Last time they got 0 in 3 southern states, they're still getting 0. But the votes they got in a state like Karnataka, they're not getting that many seats again. So in the south, they're going to even go down from where they were. And in the north, they've already maxed out in 2019 on all the states where they're strong. You remember they've won every seat in 6 states. They won all but 1 seat in 3 states. They won all but 2 seats in 2 states. Now that's 11 states where they have only one way to go, and that is down. They're not going to improve. How can you improve when you only won every seat, right? You won every seat that you can win. In those circumstances, you ask the BJP, where are you going to get additional seats from what you got last time? They have no convincing answer. And that is why they're running so scared. Every 1 seat matters to them. Why do you think they ran so humiliatingly after Akali Dal and BJD, begging them to come and rejoin END? Because they know they will need allies. That means that they already have calculated they have no majority this time. 272 is gone. Forget 300 par, 400 par, nothing like that. So now they're looking, how will they be able to even conceivably attract enough allies to form a government? I think if we effectively campaign in the Hindi belt, and I know of only 190 seats are voted so far, thank you. There are 543 seats yet to, 353 seats yet to vote. That means that the pattern can still change. But so far, it's very clear, the BJP has lost control of the narrative. They have done the same calculations that I can do in front of you, and they realize they are losing. And what is more, they're losing so badly they need every ally they can get, and they're not getting allies. So that's the situation. Of course, they'll be desperate for 2 seats in Goa, they'll be desperate for 1 seat in Sikkim also. They'll be desperate for any seat they can get.
But what is your claim on this? How much you claim? If they claim 400, what is your?
No, we are not claiming any particular number. We are just saying that their hype and propaganda is exactly that. It is empty bombast. There is no substance to 400 par. As I said earlier, there is not even any substance to the notion that their majority is guaranteed. They do not have a guaranteed majority. In fact, they are guaranteed not to have a majority. And that's why we're seeing all of this. We're seeing the panic, we're seeing the arrests, we're seeing the raids, the freezing, we're seeing the wooing of opposition parties that they want to bring back. We're seeing them buying up opposition MPs, politicians, MPs, MLAs. I mean, at the end of the day, the BJP of today is not going to look like the BJP of 10 years ago. They brought half the opposition into their thing, and even then they're not going to win.
That Congress supported them. Congress was said that Congress is a factory that produces MLA and supplies to BJP.
No, we are very happy to be a powerhouse of talent, but we need the talent for ourselves also. I think even today, there is absolutely no doubt that the amount of experience and talent available to the Congress party and to the other opposition parties vastly outweighs what is available to the BJP. The BJP is still taking retired bureaucrats into the cabinet because they don't have competent political experienced people to do some of the political jobs of this government, being ministers and so on. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing how many retired IAS, IFS officers have come into government under Mr. Modi. Why is that so? So the talent is very much on our side. Now, they feel that they can't produce the talent, they have to buy the talent. Good luck to them, but they won't soon even be able to fill enough seats by purchase.
Mr. Tharoor, according to you, what are the major issues in this election?
That's what I began with in my remarks. No? It's preserving of our democracy and our constitution, preserving of our diversity and of all communities having the rights in this country, the end to the corruption and washing machine politics of the ruling party, of course, the positive agenda of the Nyaya, of bringing social justice to all sections of our country and its people. And then on a personal note, I might add also, I believe that our foreign policy and our national security have to be paid very serious attention to as well. The BJP has not been doing very well, either on India's image abroad or on the security of our borders. You know that on the Chinese border we have a very bad situation by comparison with where we were just 4 years ago. So all of this has to be.
PM is saying that Goa decides his future, whereas criticism on Congress High Command is there that for Congress High Command, Goa is just chill out place, holiday, second home. So how you will reply for that criticism?
When we are looking for a good place to have a holiday, Goa is an excellent place. I have no difficulty with that observation. My difficulty is with the implication that the BJP in Delhi is allowing anybody to make any decisions for themselves anywhere. You've seen how the BJP has been running in state governments. You've seen how chief ministers have been changed in places like Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh without any regard for the popularity of the incumbent. Is this a party that actually believes in giving a free hand to any state? Come on. I mean, you can't just quote everything they're saying as if they really mean it. Half the things they say they don't mean. There are various kinds of jumlas that are coming out of it.
There is a narrative that has been making around that BJP has recently, or the NDA has created a good image of India overseas, meaning countries look up to India as a very strong nation, all those things. How do you see that?
I'm sorry to say that's not true. I wish it were true because as an Indian I would be proud of it being true. The fact is it is not true. If you pick up any newspaper in any Western country, you can take the top 50 newspapers in the Western world, the overwhelming majority of articles about India are negative. They are about attacks on democracy, restraints on freedom of the press, Islamophobia, attacks on minorities, Christian priests being beaten up at Christmas time in 4 states in the north, the 230 churches destroyed in Manipur. These are the kinds of stories that people are reading every day about India abroad. There is no great respect for India. Now there is this whole scandal going on about the government allegedly being involved in assassinating people in Western democracies. And frankly, given all of this, I'm afraid our foreign relations are in need of serious repair. That's what we need to be able to do.
Dr. My question is, if we see the voting percentage is on a downward trend, how would that affect us? Generally, it is believed that if it's anti-incumbency, then the voting percentage increases. But given the fact that the percentage has decreased, what effect it would have on the ruling party as well as on the opposition?
Well, our understanding so far, and I agree there will have to be much more detailed psephological studies of this, is that it is mainly in solid BJP areas that voting has gone down. In my own constituency, I've seen this. We have 7 assembly constituencies. In 2 of them, the voting percentage went down dramatically. They were both urban constituencies where the BJP is strong. I think what you're seeing everywhere is the BJP voter is no longer that enthusiastic about the government. They may not want to vote for us, but they don't feel that they have to make a big effort to go and vote for Mr. Modi's government to come back with them. And that is very interesting. We believe that the declining of votes in certain areas is a reflection of the indifference being felt by the traditional BJP supporter. Now we need 2 things. We need traditional BJP supporter not to vote, and we need the traditionally neutral voter who has been tempted to support Mr. Modi last time to come back to us. You see, in 2014, he had this very persuasive agenda, anti-corruption, Gujarat development, we'll do the same for India, etc. That collapsed by the first term itself, demonetization, jobs being lost everywhere, SMEs closing, all of that. So 2019, he fought a different election. He fought on national security. Pulwama, Balakot, that was his message in 2019. Correct? Now, after 2019, he can't even say that because, as I said, the Chinese border. How can he talk about being a good Prime Minister for national security? He's been a failure in that area with the Chinese. So now you come to 2024. What message does he have? Only message he's got left is Hindu Hridaya Samrat, scaremongering about Muslims. Congress party is going to take all your money and give it to the Muslims. What kind of talk is this? You should ask your BJP candidates in North and South Goa if they actually support these statements of the Prime Minister. It's embarrassing when the Prime Minister of the country talks such things. Again, one more indication of their desperation. But this message is not going to move the neutral voter. It can only move the hardcore Hindutva voter who is already in the BJP camp, and some of them are not even coming to vote. That's the situation the BJP is facing.
Sir, last question of making government at center. So, if such thing happens, then there will be a North Goa candidate, a very experienced person. So, will he be a part of cabinet?
Who, me?
No, North Goa candidate.
Oh, North Goa candidate, Mr. Khala. Look, he's going to be one of our most senior experienced MPs. But I think only the people who create the cabinet can answer that question. All I will say is that one good thing about any alliance is that it is bound to include voices and faces from all over the country. So my gut feeling is that you should certainly respect the kind of serious, experienced candidates we are giving you and give them their chance to serve you and serve the nation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. How do you see the Goan election? The Goan's election.